Okay, part 3. The plate is painted, finished, ready to go, so we're about to start rebuilding the changer and putting this back together. The tone arm shined up really nicely. See if you can catch some sun there. See how that looks? That looks really nice. It's never going to be perfect. There's a few, nooks and crannies where I couldn't get rid of the scratches and stuff, but for the most part it really came out nice. One of the things I did is I epoxied this aircraft nut onto that little post that's molded into the tone arm to add a little bit of weight. This factory original style cartridge weighs about 4 grams, and the replacement cartridge only weighs about 2. So by adding that aircraft nut, we're going to bring the weight up, and the idea is to make this, when it's all done, weigh the same as this. This weighs about 3.3 ounces, and we want to get this to weigh about the same and have the weight in the nose of this be about 4 grams, so that it will track properly and the changer will cycle properly. One thing I noticed about this tone arm was the pivot at the back, the weight and the pivot, it's missing its spring, which I hadn't noticed until I really started taking it apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the entire assembly out of this one and swap it so that it can have its spring. It's there. The springs are epoxied in, and it's easier just to change the whole assembly. It's only one screw holding it in there. You can see there. So it's easier to change the whole assembly so that we can get this one working properly. And I'll show you all of that when I get it ready to go. We're going to put the muting switch. I got that taken out. See, it was in this changer, and I got that taken out and ready to go. Cleaned up the connections, got it ready to go. And then the nice thing is, the good news is, it'll go right in here. The holes in this plate are already there to install that. Even though it only needed one hole to use for this connector, the holes are there, so I can install that no problem. And the good news is the slider for this changer already has the tab necessary to activate that muting switch, so we won't have to swap out the slider. So there's where we're at. I'll be back in just a second as soon as I show you the tone arm, once I get that put together and ready to go. Stand by. Okay, so there you go. This one is ready to go. We have it all wired up and ready to go. Mounting the cartridge this way moves it forward in the tone arm so that the stylus will be in about the same place as the original, which means it should track correctly. It should eliminate any flutter that might have been coming from the cartridge when it was pushed too far back and just glued in there. Got my speed nuts in there to hold the wires in place. Got the pivot in there with the spring. So that is ready to go. So we're going to get that put together, start putting the changer together, and still waiting on some rubber parts. It should be arriving in the mail any day. The new feet for the cabinet and the chassis mounting cones. But we are getting there. Should just be a few more days. I have the motor ready to put back together. I soaked the bearings overnight in naphtha, and I've been letting them dry out for a couple of days. I'm going to get them re-oiled today and get this put back together. And so that motor should run nice and smooth and quiet, just the way it should. And then we will get this thing finished up. So, thanks for watching.